Nothing is over! Nothing! You just don't turn it off! And I see all those maggots at the airport protesting me, spitting, calling me baby killer and all kinds of vile crap. Who are they to protest me, huh? Who are they? Unless they've been me and been there and know what the hell they're yelling about.
You're the last of an elite group. Don't end it like this.
Back there I can fly a gunship. I can drive a tank. I was in charge of $1 million equipment. Back here I can't even hold a job. Fucking cars! Ah!
Don't bully an honest person casually, because once he gets aggressive, you won't even have a chance to apologize. Rambo is a retired veteran. He was hungry and just wanted to have a good meal in the small town. Unexpectedly, the police chief, wearing tinted glasses, regarded him as a troublemaking homeless man and forcibly began to search him. Rambo was seen carrying a saber and was sent to the police station for illegal possession of a weapon. For the trumped-up crime, Rambo faced 90 days in jail and a fine. A group of police officers not only used obscene words, but also abused lynching in an attempt to beat him into submission. They were armed with water cannons and tortured Rambo as a form of entertainment. Finally, Rambo couldn't bear the humiliation and fought back. He was like a wild horse running wild, so tough that the police could do nothing to him and he was put to the ground in an instant. Rambo made a big fuss at the police station. No one would have thought that a homeless man could have such skills. Rambo retrieved his saber, rushed out of the door, snatched a motorcycle, and left quickly along the street. Naturally, the town police chief would not let him go and followed him closely. But Rambo's driving skills were very superb, and he quickly escaped to the foot of the mountain. In order to escape as soon as possible, Rambo led the sheriff into the mountains. The motorcycle was small and nimble, and the police sergeant quickly fell into a trap and rolled down the slope, but Rambo had no way to go, so he had no choice but to hide in the forest as soon as possible. In order to cope with the severe cold weather, he found a large piece of rag and simply made it into a piece of clothing, spread the distance as far as possible along the river. On the other side, the angry police chief quickly waited for support from his men. 3 hounds searched for the scent and led the police in pursuit of Rambo. Hearing the barking of the dog getting closer, Rambo quickened his pace. However, an accident happened, and a 100-meter-high cliff stopped him in place. Seeing that his pursuers were about to catch up, Rambo had no choice but to risk climbing the rock and move downwards. If he was not careful, he would be shattered to pieces. However, to make matters worse, the police helicopter suddenly appeared. The deputy took off his seat belt, took aim with his sniper rifle, and fired bullets one after another. Rambo had no way out at this time. He looked at the pine trees at his feet and chose to jump down. Instead of being beaten to death by others, it was better to give it a try and find a chance to survive. The branches reduced the force of the fall, and Rambo was only scratched on his arm. Fortunately, he landed safely without any danger. Seeing this, the deputy became even more aggressive and continued shooting. Rambo got angry, picked up a rock, and hit the helicopter's glass hard. With the sudden shaking, the deputy sheriff instantly lost his balance and fell straight from the height. Rambo quickly stepped forward and took away the sniper rifle and walkie-talkie. He originally wanted to use this to make peace with the sheriff, and did not want to see any more casualties. However, the sheriff could not listen and just fired at Rambo. The sheriff was determined to fight to the end, so Rambo had no choice but to prepare early. He used local materials, made traps, and waited for the sheriff. They threw themselves into a trap. Nandwa used branches to prop up the dummy, tricked everyone into releasing the hounds to pursue him, and easily eliminated the hounds. The police chief didn't know how terrifying Rambo was, so he dispersed the few people. The police had no actual combat experience and were attacked one after another. Wails echoed in the woods. Others suddenly panicked and chose their own way. The result was that the trap was triggered, which was horrific. The sergeant heard the screams of his men and was so anxious that he stepped forward to rescue him. Rambo took advantage of the situation and suddenly rushed out, holding a knife to his neck. As the saying goes, "You rule the town, I am the king in the mountains." Rambo could have killed everyone, but he didn't want to kill. He told the sheriff to stop, otherwise it would make him miserable. The police sergeant was lucky enough to save his life, but was so frightened that he cried bitterly on the spot. But when he came down from the mountain, he reported to his superiors that 200 heavily armed soldiers were about to enter the mountain to investigate. But at this moment, a colonel from the military came here and warned them not to act rashly. It turned out that he was Rambo's former instructor, and the two had experienced the brutal Vietnam War together. Rambo was the best special forces soldier he had ever seen, good at various weapons, and a master of bare knuckles, especially proficient in jungle warfare. Truly a king's man. Perhaps the sheriff was not beaten badly enough. He didn't care about the colonel's words and insisted on sending troops to search the mountain.
don't think you understand. I didn't come here to rescue Rambo from you. I came here to rescue you from him.
At this time, Rambo hunted a wild boar. He carried the plump hind legs and hid in the mine for a feast. However, there were many people on the other side, and he soon discovered his location. Rambo held a gun and started to fight with the guards. Shoot, he just blocked the opponent. The soldiers did not dare to attack rashly, and actually brought out the rocket launcher. Just when everyone thought he was certain to die, he miraculously survived. Rambo found gasoline, tore his clothes into strips of cloth and made them into torches, trying to find a way out. The flame of the torch kept beating, indicating that there must be an exit from the mine. He explored along the direction and finally saw the light of day again. The exit happened to be near the police base camp. Rambo looked around and came up with an idea. He was walking on the only way down the mountain, saw the right moment and jumped on the roof of the car, broke into the cab, kicked it away, snatched the military vehicle, and headed straight to the town. When the police heard the news, they pursued him quickly and kept firing in an attempt to force him to stop. But Rambo was not afraid of death at all. He swerved and pushed away the pursuers. The police car was unable to dodge and crashed into scrap metal. Rambo rampaged all the way, past the checkpoints, and rushed to the small-town gas station. He took away the machine gun and bullets and lit the gasoline directly. In an instant, the gas station burst into flames and exploded continuously. The fire spread rapidly and was difficult to control. The police had never seen anything like this before. They were so frightened by the explosion that they had no choice but to run for their lives. Realizing that the matter was very serious, the sheriff quickly broadcast a broadcast to evacuate the town residents, then opened the weapons cabinet, selected weapons, and prepared to fight Rambo to the death. The colonel was a little happy when he learned that Rambo was still alive, but I also feel very worried. The sheriff is no match for Rambo. Once the sheriff dies in Rambo's hands, even the Ministry of Defense cannot protect Rambo. But the sergeant still refused to listen and wanted to fight Rambo with a gun in his hand. He quietly came to the roof of the police station and hid in the dark. Rambo would not appear easily. In order to hide his whereabouts, he decisively shot and knocked out the transformer, and the whole town suddenly became dark. Immediately afterwards, he broke into a weapons store and piled bullets and gunpowder barrels together. The bullets were heated and began to explode continuously. The unsuspecting police chief was attracted to him. Rambo cleverly hid in the dark and took advantage of the explosion's light. Found the sheriff. In order to create further pressure, the man fired wildly with a machine gun, reducing the police station to rubble. Rambo walked into the house quietly, always paying attention to the movements on the roof. The police sergeant stopped being a coward and took the initiative with his rifle. Rambo feinted a shot to lure him into firing, and predicted the sheriff's position. After a burst of fire, the sheriff was shot several times and fell from the roof. Rambo stepped forward and wanted to kill someone. Just when he was about to take action, the colonel suddenly appeared. He tried to get Rambo to put down his weapon and leave with him back to the military camp. But Rambo has been dazzled by revenge and wants to fight to the death with hundreds of soldiers and police. The colonel had no choice but to yell loudly and took the machine gun from his hand. Rambo's mood collapsed instantly.
Nothing is over! Nothing! You just don't turn it off! And I see all those maggots at the airport protesting me, spitting, calling me baby killer and all kinds of vile crap. Who are they to protest me, huh? Who are they? Unless they've been me and been there and know what the hell they're yelling about.
You're the last of an elite group. Don't end it like this.
Back there I can fly a gunship. I can drive a tank. I was in charge of $1 million equipment. Back here I can't even hold a job. Fucking cars! Ah! Back here.
And the box is wired, and he opened up the box, fucking blew his body all over the place. He's laying there, he's fucking screaming, there's pieces of him all over me, just like this, and I'm trying to pull him off, you know, and it's my friend that's all over me. He's got blood and everything, and I'm trying to hold him together. I put him together, fucking the chains keep coming out, and nobody went out.
After a period of hysterical venting, Rambo, the iron-blooded and tough guy, cried out like a child. He was sent to the battlefield by the country, and everything was stolen away by the war, leaving only indelible trauma. But in the end, the country had no place for him. At the end of the movie, Rambo can only accept reality and bow his unyielding head to fate. Although First Blood does not have any war scenes, it vividly shows the cruelty of war. War has never been far away from us. I hope every veteran can be respected and treated well by society.